Hello everyone and welcome to Edusurg Clinics. I am Dr. Gunjan Desai and today we are going to discuss a very important topic that was being requested by a lot of our viewers, and this is the role of indocyanine green in surgery. So there is a recent article on this topic. If you are interested, it is a 2025 systematic review and meta-analysis for fluorescence image guided GI surgery using indocyanine green. Basics that we discuss in this video are not a part of the article, but the evidence on GI surgery that we are going to discuss in this presentation is based on this article. So if you are interested, you can have a look. So what is indocyanine green? Basically, it is a water-soluble tricarbocyanine dye. It emits fluorescence under near infrared light. For those who don't know infrared, there is a visible light and there is an invisible light. The wavelength of around 820 nm is the wavelength where fluorescence is emitted by indocyanine green. So somewhere in this area that is marked by pink, so indocyanine green emits fluorescence under near infrared light, which is captured by camera. It has a strong plasma protein binding. It is FDA approved and it is widely used in surgery. When it comes to pharmacokinetics, basically how it is administered, how it is metabolized, and how it is excreted. Remember that in most of its indications, it is a rapid IV distribution, exclusive hepatic uptake, and biliary excretion. Plasma half-life is 3 to 5 minutes. Some tissues can retain it for 42 to 77 minutes, as in biliary system, where it can be retained for up to 1 hour, which forms the basis of using ICG for biliary anatomy detection in surgeries like laparoscopic cholecystectomy. So principle of ICG fluorescence, it is given as an injection. ICG fluoresces when excited by near infrared light, allowing real-time visualization of anatomy, perfusion, or tumors. It can be given intravenously or peritumoral or into the skin or cervix. Remember that visualization will depend on when you inject. So just like a signal traffic light, there are three different ways to inject ICG based on the indication. And this is essentially the most important part of this presentation. Because if you don't inject it at the right time, you will not achieve the target for which you use the indocyanine green injection. So immediate intra-op injection is given when you want to assess perfusion. That is when you want to study the dye in the vessels or perfusion, you have to give it immediately when you want to see the fluorescence. This is done in examples like checking the vascularity of colorectal anastomosis, flap viability, say in breast reconstruction or in any plastic surgery, vascular assessment like liver segment perfusion. So perfusion, remember PI, perfusion when you want to see the dye has to be in the vessel. It is an immediate injection. Dose is around 2.5 to 5 milligram IV bolus. Early, basically for biliary and ureter, both tubular structures, something that you can remember. ICG cholangiography 30 to 60 minutes prior to surgery. Ureter visualization 30 to 60 minutes prior to surgery. Remember that this is essentially the venous or delayed phase of the CT scan. So basically the time when the dye will reach the ureter or the biliary anatomy is 30 to 60 minutes. Delayed is when the tissues are going to retain, like the tumors, the dosage is 0.3 to zero point 0.5 milligram per kilogram IV, and you can give up to 24 hours prior to surgery. So remember, for perfusion, it is immediate. For biliary and ureter, it is early, that is 30 to 60 minutes, 1 hour. And for delayed 1 day, it is tumor localization. So to summarize, standard dose is 0.1 to zero point 0.5 milligram per kilogram IV. Maximum safe dose is 2 milligram per kilogram per day. Common dilution is 2.5 milligram per ml, and adjust the dose is based on indication. As I already discussed, if you want perfusion, inject when you want fluorescence. If you want bile ducts, inject 1 hour before. If you want tumors, inject the day before. Now, some of the common indications of ICG and how ICG is given. Like I said, for liver, there are three important points, which are the first 3 points of this table. Tumor localization, you have to give it IV 24 hours before the surgery, and the usual dose is 0.3 to zero point 0.5 milligram per kg. For liver segmental anatomy, when you inject is after the pedicle clamping of the segment that you want to remove. So what will happen? Say for example, you want to remove segment 6 and segment 7, which is the right posterior sector. You clamp the right posterior pedicle and then inject the dye. What you will see is that all the segments other than 6 and 7 should emit fluorescence, right? That means that you have clamped the right pedicle, which then you can divide. So for biliary anatomy, like I said, the injection is IV and 30 to 60 minutes pre-op. For colorectal anastomosis, condu, again you are looking for perfusion. The injection is IV and it is immediate. Flap surgery as well as peripheral vascular disease, again we are looking at perfusion. It is going to be immediate. For sentinel lymph node biopsy, you do a mapping by peritumoral injection. Remember this. So it is a peritumoral injection and it is given 15 to 30 minutes before detection. For ureter identification, like I said, say for colorectal surgery, you want to see the ureters, then you have to inject 1 hour prior, and it is again IV. For partial nephrectomy, just like liver segmental anatomy, you will inject after hilar clamping. So the area that is to be removed is clamped. Then you give fluorescence, then you see which parts are lighting up. If the specimen is not lighting up, then you have clamped the right pedicle. So these are some of the indications of ICG. There are other indications like thyroid surgery for looking at vascularity of parathyroid, flaps in breast reconstruction, and many other indications. But these essentially are the commonly seen indications of indocyanine green. Now, when it comes to evidence, it definitely has shown that ICG reduces colorectal anastomotic leak, increases lymph node yield in GI cancer surgery, and can make a significant change in intraoperative decision making. However, remember that though ICG is popular, it is costly, it needs specific equipment, and only a few indications are truly evidence backed, like colorectal anastomosis integrity and the number of lymph nodes in GI cancer surgery. So quantitative benefits are only for these two conditions. It does not increase the number of positive nodes and it does not consistently improve R0 rejection rates. This is what the studies have shown. So there are limitations that are highlighted by evidence that perfusion assessment is subjective, right? There is no fixed number where you will say that this anastomosis is well perfused. It's a subjective assessment. There is wide variability in the dose, timing, and technique, and there are lack of standardized protocols. So, important point to realize ICG is an adjunct but not a replacement for surgical judgment. Best evidence is there to support colorectal perfusion and lymph node mapping. However, the use should be evidence driven and indication specific. Like I said, the limitations do exist for use of ICG. It is contraindicated in patients with iodine allergy, limited tissue penetration of 5 to 10 mm, and requires the NIR camera system is quite costly. So key take home messages, remember the timing. If you miss on timing, you will not see what you want to see. So ICG timing depends on what you want to see. Perfusion, then inject immediately. Bile ducts, then it is around 1 hour prior to surgery. And tumors, it is around 24 hours. So ICG improves what the surgeon sees, but only in selected situations does it improve what happens to the patient. Thank you.